This Saturday the German domestic competition is kicking off. So it'll be very exciting for the
they
Germans.
Love their league, the Germans, don't they?
They love their league. It's that kind of thing, really. Tough physical sports.
Great.
Yep. And the Immortals, the club in Lebanon, have lost their first game in 4 years.
Oh, wow.
4 years.
It's quite a record.
Yeah. So they last lost in April 2008. And they recently lost to the Redbacks 29-20. So it was a 42 game winning streak. The Immortals. So a lot happening.
Just goes to show that they need a draft in Lebanese rugby league. Comp's not even enough.
So, Nicholas Latsky, what have you had for the injury zone?
Injury zone? Alright, well, unfortunately the Finger Bandit wasn't quite at play as much as last week. He did manage to catch Corey Parker though, who's out with 4 to 5 weeks with a thumb injury.
That'll ruin a few.
Yeah, that'll ruin
teams.
some dream teams, that's for sure, because he's a big point scorer, tackling and kicking and doing his cackling himself. Yeah. Anyway, Gidley 3 to 5 weeks out. He dislocated his shoulder. That's probably not too bad actually for the Knights there. I think that dislocated shoulder you could sort of see a few more weeks on top of that. So I think that's quite good for him. I think it was an injury he's already sustained, and he's just sort of dealing with it again. Jared Hayne, they're talking 6 to 7 weeks. I mean, I think we all saw him tumble down in a bit of a mess there against the Warriors. It's an interesting injury. You don't really see players go down like that very often, and they're just sort of setting off and running freely, and then
usually when they do as well, it's a really, really bad injury.
Yes.
Need a knee reconstruction, that kind of thing. So I know Andrew Murden's had one of those early in his career.
He wouldn't be taking chances, Jared Hayne. And that was his good knee, is that right?
It was the knee that wasn't strapped up, and he sort of admitted himself he came back a bit early. He wasn't feeling quite 100. Tara's just doing his fly up. I noticed that quite a bit earlier, but that's alright. Anyway, so yeah, Hayne 6 to 7 weeks. That's good for Eels fans. I like seeing Hayne play, and I think most people in the sort of
I saw. I remember the Bull Tupou breakaway try as well. Ken Seo just pulling up halfway through the chase.
Yeah. Speaking of Ken Seo, Tara and I had a first try scorer. We had a bit of a bet actually. $20 on it. First try scorer. I said Conrad Harrell. Tara said the main man Seo, and he's $20 up now. So congratulations to that. I've actually got that in my bag for you now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway, Isi Tonga, hamstring, 4 to 5 weeks. So that's no good for the Eels, they're already battling.
So hang on, who was the one that put it? Was it Tonga or was it Seo?
I think it was Tonga.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Isi Tonga.
Yeah.
Did they not do conditioning or something at these?
I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, it's going to be a long season.
Kearney's got a bit of a bloody bit of a headache now, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Marshall's got the flu.
Matty Utai, 4 weeks, undisclosed injury, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what he's dealing with.
I think there's going to be a little bit of investigation needed.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got some interesting injuries to talk about. We had the Kevin Mialamu incident where he apparently bottled. It actually turned out to be a plastic bottle that just sort of tapped him on the head, and the lunatic jumped over the fence and came to talk to him. Got a wee incident that happened in March 16, 2009, just south of Baghdad. So there's 2 local teams in Iraq playing a heated game of football. Towards the end of the game, a fan just shot dead a player who was about to score. So I think Mialamu might have reason to be a little bit more settled about what happened to him. Another interesting statistic I managed to pick up throughout the week. Most dangerous high school and college sport. Anyone want to have a go at what that would be? Cheerleading. Really? Yeah. Spinal, head and spinal injuries.
Oh, yeah.
And it's increasing every year by around sort of 10% every year. So yeah, it's not good for the cheerleaders over in the States there.
What are your stats for the week?
I thought you guys. Oh, I've actually got a few more injuries, but we'll move on.
Yeah.
I did it this week. I got back on the sort of maths buzz, and I did a sort of percentage to to games ratio of Warriors players. Unsurprisingly, Manu came out. He scores 68% of the games he plays. Inu at 58, followed by Maloney at 39. Your main man Chico Ropati next up at 37. Tupou at 35, and then Locke was quite far down. He was actually at 29. I was expecting him to come in a little bit,
That's low,
higher than that. Simon Mannering and Lewis Brown both on 24%, and Michael Luck on 5.
Michael Luck must have worse try scoring stats than most props, eh? He just doesn't score them. Yeah.
Would you say that Michael Luck is almost despite his defensive efforts, is a bit of a liability in that regards?
Well, he's not a liability. I mean, the fact he's not scoring tries doesn't mean he's not doing attacking work. He just, I don't think he's allowed the ball around that sort of within the 10 metre zone.
They banish him.
I think
they get near the line.
how often do you see Luck with the ball within the 10? It doesn't happen.
What do you think, Mr. Bishop, about Michael Luck's role in the Warriors? Is he a bit of a hindrance because of his attacking?
Good question. For Elijah Saylor, it's beautiful offload in the weekend. Something that Michael Luck would not have done. No, I think he has his place. I think his defence makes up for what he may lack in attack personally.
Oh, yep. So we were talking about the Warriors earlier. Who did you think were the standout performers, just from a personal point of view?
It's always good to see Manu have a good day. Good to know good days and bad days. That was probably my personal player highlight, was how Manu went really.
Yeah, good defensive day as well. It was...
Exactly, because they come with bad days as well.
Just one more question. So you went to the NRL Grand Final last year while pulling a sickie from your job, and you were you were caught red-handed on TV. Has there been any ramifications since then?
Not officially. I didn't go to work for a few days. Unfortunately, I was rostered off for a few days, so whatever fuss it may be, hopefully it can calm down in that period. A nurse came up to me about 2 or 3 weeks later and said, "Did I see you at the grand final?" And so I looked around and see who else was within earshot. It confirmed it. And that's the only person who's actually mentioned it. So I think I got away with it.
Good stuff. We'll hear from you next week.
I'm going to apply for that day off this year very shortly, though, to avoid such a scenario again this year.
Oh yeah, no, that's good planning. All right, cool. Thanks for that, Bush. We'll catch you next week.
Cheers, Bush.
Terry Harrison Law for the week. Yep.
Lewis Brown.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, later, Bush.
I think Lewis Brown's just got a lock on that award. I don't think he's ever going to lose it. We've got a great round coming up though. Matt, I know you've had a look at the draw and seen a couple of contests that have caught your eye, but
I have. The fixture that I'm most looking forward to is this Friday night, Dragons versus Tigers, Wynn Stadium, one of my favourites on the coast there. Obviously both teams started off the season in round 1 with a Golden Point victory, Benji Marshall and Jamie Soward kicking their respective sides to victory, and both had relatively poor performances last week. Obviously the Dragons got absolutely pumped by the Dogs on Friday night, and then the Tigers battled away against Manly and ultimately fell short there. I was having a look at last year. They actually played 3 times. The first one the Dragons took at home, 24-18. Second game was at Sydney Football Stadium, which the Tigers won 16-14. And then round 1 of the finals at ANZ Stadium, the Tigers pipped them there 21-12. So, yeah, pretty mixed bag there last year in terms of their head-to-head records. But I think it's going to be a great game. Obviously, both teams have got a lot to prove. They're both right up there amongst the teams everyone's talking about as title contenders. And I think they'll both certainly be looking to bounce back after a relatively poor weekend. Who do you guys like in this one?
I'm I'm going to say Tigers. This one.
I'm leaning towards the Tigers as well.
Yeah.
I was looking at the injuries. Dragons are pretty much full strength other than Dan Hunt, so the big man Jeremy Lattimore will be starting 3 weeks in a row for them.
It's unbelievable.
The Tigers are missing Keith Galloway, so prop for prop, it sort of evens out. Lottie Takiri and Matt Utai will obviously be missed, but I think they've got Joel Reddy and I can't think who's on the other wing. Oh, Bo Ryan, yeah. He's scored a few tries already this year, 2 or 3. It's good.
I'm going to go Tigers as well. I'm getting more and more worried about the Dragons' season. I mean, I know this was a bad week for them, but when you've built your success around playing a really conservative style of league that makes no mistakes and defends really well, there's not much room for error, and they've lost a couple of key players. There's a new coach, and I just think they're falling away from that successful style a wee bit in terms of executing it, and I think they're going to be in trouble this season.
I definitely think the impact that Darius Boyd going to the Knights is going to have is really going to show through. I think people may have, obviously he's an origin player, a test player, but underestimated his value to the Dragons side. I think their attack is noticeably lacking focus compared to when he was out there at second receiver outside Soward.
He is an exceptional player. I'll pick the Tigers as well. Just looking at the TAB scores, it's one of those. Tigers are playing $1.90, Dragons are playing $1.85.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
Tough to pick.
I've got the
games,
We'll
Tigers.
get on the Tigers at that.
You reckon Tigers as well, Lenny?
Yeah, although I was a bit disappointed by their performance against Manly. I thought they kind of almost threw the towel in a little bit towards the end there.
Yeah, it's true. Gareth Ellis being off was...
That was a big loss. Just a corked fight. Didn't come up in the injury publication, so I imagine he's still good to go this week.
Yep, he's been named. Anything else?
No, that's about it for the game of the round. Well, definitely one to watch out for Friday night. I was saying earlier, this round doesn't look like it's got as many sort of nice even matchups that the first 2 rounds have offered, but that's definitely going to be one worth watching.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm surprised you didn't pick Warriors Bulldogs.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was legit to pick.
Yeah.
Thought we'd give them enough.
It's a pretty heavily Warrior focused.
Yeah.
We were bound to talk about them.
It'll be a good one too, though.
Alright, I've got some more games that I've just highlighted to get you guys' thoughts on. Warriors Bulldogs, picks for that.
At home, I like the Warriors for that.
Yeah.
We'll get home, but it'll be very close.
Very close.
I don't think I'm allowed to say anything but the Warriors.
Well, they're playing $1.47 at the moment as well.
Oh,
It's that Kiwi bias.
yeah.
That's true.
What do you think about Brisbane Newcastle? Another tight game.
It's Friday night as well. That'll be another good one. Corey
that'll be
Parker
good.
out and Kurt Gidley out. I don't know. It's going to be tough to pick. I lean towards the Broncos.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm on the fence on that one.
I'm gonna say Knights.
That's alright.
Yeah. I like that actually. Yeah, I reckon the Knights are sort of a team on the rise. They're gonna miss Gidley. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I can see them sticking up there.
Alright, and Cronulla Manly. Your thoughts on that game?
Sharks, hands down.
The Sharks this time.
Get out the Sharks, eh? Great to see them having a go though, isn't it? You know, they chance their arm, that's for sure.
Manly 13 plus in the front.
Manly 13 plus.
And Kenta.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm going to throw the Sharks in my multi this week. I am down a bit of money from last week. But for our safe strategy here, we're going double or nothing on Manu Gatuvai, first try scorer.
Yeah, I like it.
Once again,
I like that.
they've kept him under wraps in the last game, and it's going to unleash the beast.
I'd suggest if you're going to do any sort of first try scorer predictions, Tara Sheet is your man.
Taro tips. Any hot first try scorer tips?
Yeah, I'd say Ben Barber.
Ooh.
Alright.
Shit, I'll tell you what.
He scores a lot of tries.
Wouldn't be a bad idea to chuck a tenner on the nose there.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Chuck $10 on it. What else could it mean?
Make a bet.
Okay.
$10.
Okay. It's good to see some lingo slipping in
Horse
there.
racing team?
Yeah.
It is a horse racing term.
Yeah.
Yeah.